fourth quarter. Just what can you say about, I mean, we've talked about him many times before, but it just seems like kind of what he does in clutch situations.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just such a good scorer, but, he makes the right pass. He makes the right read, right decision, the poise, to kind of come down. There's times when, he could force something, and he tends to be the guy that gets us, organized. It's, there's so many more things he does than just score. Thought defensively, he guarded a lot of different guys, did really well. So, you need games like that from your guys like Chris. So it's a hell of an effort by him.
Drew had 17 in the fourth quarter. I think Giannis only scored 1 point in the fourth quarter. It's typically not how you guys close, but just what do you think of Drew in the fourth as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, what's just the most impressive when a guy is, maybe not having his best game, doesn't have his best for the first 3 quarters, and just keeps fighting, keeps competing. He's given us a ton defensively, and then he just catches that, that wave of making baskets and feeling good in the fourth. And it's multiple nights he's done it now here recently. And Giannis and myself will watch Chris and Drew play all night. So I don't think there's anybody happier than Giannis.
Aiden obviously was a handful tonight, but on that late, Chris gets a steal late on the switch. Just what do you think of his ability? We're talking about offense, but to battle defensively.
Yeah, I know that was a big play, and we really hadn't done that kind of all night, and more of a read and react defensively by those two guys. But Aiden is such a load in the paint, but Chris is I think he brought that just that little bit of fight. You got to make the entry pass tough. The guys, it'll be interesting to see the film, see what we did on the passer. I know Drew was coming hard from the weak side, and just created a turnover.
Giannis played a bunch of that fourth quarter with 5. He gets the block on campaign with 5. Just his ability to avoid a foul, make a big play defensively.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, flashbacks of the block on that end. That's just his to go up. It feels like he took it off the top of the square. That's those plays that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are other guys that can make them, but, the way he makes them, that's just, makes him great.
Chris and Drew, after the break, have just been, playing really well. Kind of what have you noticed is maybe the major difference from those two? They've started off so hot coming out of the break.
I think, probably just getting a break was good for both of them. So I think, hopefully they're healthy, they're, rested and in a good spot, and, they're great players. We were talking earlier just about Drew's fourth quarters recently. And, I just think the way Drew's shooting it right now too is, the ball looks so good coming out of his hands. He looks confident and getting to his spots, and I was playing off of him a little bit. Just, they're just both good players, and, they're playing in good space right now.
And then the way y'all have been able to close out down the stretch against some good teams this week, the 2 wins earlier, Miami and the Bulls, just kind of what are maybe your biggest takeaways, or sort of what, maybe you learned about your team, the way you guys have finished off these games this week?
Yeah, no, I mean, it takes a little bit of resiliency, it takes some poise. We got to execute. We've had our fair share where, we haven't been as good as we'd like. So you got to take the good with the bad. You got to learn from both. And we just got to keep pushing to have more good, have more attention to detail, more focus, more just competitiveness down the stretch that's been good for us lately.
Hey, Coach, what can you say about Jordan today? Over 26 minutes, including some big shots down in the clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I think, not knowing every game Jordan's had for us, but that's just easily got to be his best game in a tough, competitive environment against a really good team that's really well coached and competes and does all the little things. And for Jordan to kind of, feel that, experience that, and succeed. I know he's had more points and so on and so forth, but to me, that's clearly his best game. I think he played the whole fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And, the trust his teammates have in him, the trust that's growing with all of us in Jordan is a big day for him today. Really proud of him, really happy for him.
This might be a weird question, but how is Drew Holiday now compared to a year ago? Is he more comfortable with his leadership? And I don't mean just what we can see today where he's talking more, but in practices and stuff, right? He seems like a guy where he'd need to feel comfortable with people before he'd speak up.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good question, and a fair one. And I think, kind of what you're saying he's just such a good guy. He I think can and will defer to others if that's what it takes in the moment. And when you come to a team with Giannis and Chris that's had success and other players, I think his instinct and most people with character would probably be to defer. And now he's found his way, found his moments, found his times. And, I think credit to Giannis and Chris for encouraging him. I think certainly I'm on him. I'm not sure he loves it when I'm on him, but he's such a good player, but he's such a great person. And I think, the longer he's with you, then more of that great character can just, shine through. And it is in the locker room and the timeouts and on the plane. He's just got a great way about him. He's a great leader.
Can I follow up? What are you on him for still? Is it the defense or last year in the championship round? He said if he didn't shoot, he would pull him. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. The relationship between a coach and a point guard is sometimes volatile. But I just so much respect him, and I do. I think he needs to be aggressive. I think defensively, offensively, but just including the leadership stuff. The more he talks to his teammates, the more we hear his voice, the better. So it's always on my mind and on his mind. All right, thanks, guys.